All right, all right. Well, so we just found out that land dropped. We just saw the announcement on Discord. My gosh, my head's spinning right now. Where are you at with this?
Oh man, it's like that map is just like beautiful, and then seeing the like being able to click and see the people who own those first 50 plots is just like crazy to see. You see games like Axie and they like had land announced like a long time ago, and they barely have their NFTs out, and like I still don't think it does anything, and like just the pace that these guys are moving at, it's got me pretty stoked.
Yeah, yeah, it's totally wild. Been browsing the map a little bit and definitely feeling like, gosh, I wish I would have, won something in that first raffle. But here we are, and so I'm just pulling up Discord right now, and I'll read it aloud. So on the announcements section, I guess let me jump over to it on the OBS stream here. So if the viewers want to check out what we're talking about, so in the announcement section, Beetle just dropped the hot alpha that you know um, we're looking at powerful heroes being able to unlock land. What's that mean to you? And what are your thoughts on how are you going to prepare your kind of your hero parties to try to go after this?
Yeah, so I think there's been some pretty interesting like speculation on Twitter. I'll share a couple of those just because I think those are interesting viewpoints. I think that based off of stuff that Frisky said before, he mentioned he wants that they want land to not just be like some asset that whales can just like buy all of it up and immediately turn around and flip it. They want it to be you have to be like playing the game for it to be accessible to you. And they've mentioned, like having leveled up heroes. So whether that means like some sort of like just a gate, like hey, you need to have level heroes at least this level to even be able to access it and enter the auction, or whether it's a quest. I don't really know. I think that combat and PvE are a little ways out,
Hmm.
but so I would think if it is some sort of quest, it's not like combat related because I think the roadmap has land coming out a ways before that. But I could see like a quest that's like level gated and you have a chance, maybe like a percentage chance. And I know I'm sorry I'm rambling here, but there's if you follow uh DFK Monstera on Twitter, he had some, speculation on what he thought what it would be, and it was like, certain quests that have a drop rate for a deed. If you get the deed, it gives you right to purchase the land, and you can go and sell that deed to somebody else if you want.
Nice. And you know what I'm wondering too? They also talked about chain quests. Um, I think there was a couple AMA sessions ago where the outcome of one quest could end up leading to alternative subsequent quests. And I also wonder if maybe some of the land it might be buried, two or three links of the chain deep where you have to accomplish successfully one or two of the first versions of that quest before you can finally get at the deed. And I believe they've also talked about when you win the right to buy or sell that land. Do you recall that being kind of the verbiage around it as well?
Yeah, no, that's definitely the way I interpreted it when they brought it up, is that you have to play to get access to this right, and then the right you can either exercise it or sell it to somebody else.
Dang.
Because I suspect there will be some, it'll be pretty valuable. Gen Zeros were 1,500 jewel to mint at the time, and there was 2,000 of those, and there's only 1,000 plots of land. So I mean, I have no idea what the price will be, but I think it's motivating even for people who are like, there's no way I'll ever be able to afford it. If
Uh-huh.
you've been like grinding your one hero and he's high enough level, and whatever it ends up being the way to get it, if you end up getting it, you could just turn around and flip that and maybe make a pretty penny off of it.
Yeah, I saw on Discord, and obviously take this with a grain of salt, but someone is trying to sell one of the first 50 plots for $1 million at the moment. So I,
Wow, that's
I,
crazy.
I have no idea if there's going to be any takers. Probably not. That's pretty ridiculous. And we're also in a bit of a jewel apocalypse winter at the moment. Right now, I think on Discord, jewel prices, yeah, $7.20. I'm actually kind of surprised that we've been kind of oscillating back and forth between $7 and $8 the last few days. So um, I think this is gonna bring. I think this is going to bring some money in, and I would not be surprised if we see this kind of jump up over the next half a week to week, but we'll see. So,
Yeah, I agree.
oh
I
yeah, go
agree.
ahead.
On the price wise, I think like the thing that we're just like butting heads with is just like the market in general is just getting kind of slaughtered right now.
Yeah, yeah,
So but I mean, this is like, I think this is like so bullish. It's, you just go and look at this map and you think this is the first 100 plots. There are going to be 1,000 plots on Sarandel, and then you see these landmarks on the map, and they've talked in prior AMAs about how some of these landmarks will be very specific quests, like adventure quests, and Frisky mentioned that there's going to be profession quests and won't be those the level 0 profession quests are housed right there in the middle of Sarandel, but like the level 10 mining quest might be in a mine out
right.
somewhere, and
And they're definitely
the
mines
forging in
out
a
there.
forest. Yeah, like I was, where was it? Like kind of over towards the top right part of the map. I definitely saw like a mine. So I don't know. The options are, they're gonna be awesome. I'm just like stoked to see how this all rolls out.
Yeah. What so let's go through kind of what's caught your eye the most, and maybe I think we'll kind of keep this one was short today, so maybe we'll each go back and forth with a few icons on the map that have stuck out to us, and then maybe kind of end it there for tonight, as it's starting to get pretty late already.
Yeah,
I guess so. First thing that stuck out to me, we have an affinity for the hot air balloon. I noticed there's a couple zeppelins on the map. There's one in the top
yeah.
right, and then there's one towards the bottom half of the map. I'm trying to search for it again, and I lost it.
There's
But
one on the island.
oh yeah, yeah, there it is.
So there's a, yeah, one right
Yeah, that
floating on
that
that
island,
island.
that's pretty cool. I always wanted waterfront property in real life. Why not have digital waterfront property, right?
Yeah. You know what? I don't know if you ever played these games, but this island like just brings back this like how do I say this? This like extremely strong nostalgic feeling of playing Heroes of Might and Magic 2 and 3. And like I swear I've seen an island just like this, and it's the land and the way it's laid out is very similar. And in Heroes of Might and Magic 2 and 3, you'd have these portals and you'd hit, you'd walk in a portal, it would teleport you to the essentially like the other half of that portal somewhere else on the map, and like that just like gave me like very strong flashbacks of that, seeing this little island.
Nice. No, I have not played, but there's something about an island that I think just automatically draws your mind to it. It just feels so much more exclusive and valuable, and yeah, it's interesting. They got forests, a mine there, a little alcove, the lighthouse that looks like that might have something of value. Okay, so I guess hot air balloons and zeppelins aside, what's something that's sticking out to you on the map, and where do you want to kind of draw our attention to it? Samich, are you still there?
Sorry, I just like went off for 10 seconds on mute. Um,
That's
yeah,
okay.
yeah. So I was like questioning whether I should even mention this because I don't want to put anybody else's like, it on anybody else's radars, but I'm going to say it anyways. I really love, and I don't know why, up in the very top left corner of the map, there's like a little pond and then this like purple, like, I don't know, like a wisteria tree.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And like, I don't know, that just looks awesome. Um,
Yeah, I'm
that
really
one stuck out.
hoping
Oh,
these
sorry.
become like clickable items, as they talked about. That feature's going to open up soon. So I'm really hoping, and what I thought was kind of interesting. Remember the first night that Wishing Well was out, and Frisky Fox said it's out, but he didn't tell anyone where it was. And so I'm really hoping the team kind of drops in, some hidden gems like that for a few days, for a week or something like that. I think there's a real possibility, and they said that quests aren't out right now on the map, but I'm hoping there's a possibility where there's going to be some like hidden clickable items that, if you're really diligent and you're kind of searching around, you might be able to find something nifty there.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case. And like they definitely mentioned certain zones having like adventure quests, or
Mhm.
they've talked about PvE and combats coming out, and even like raid like dungeons, and I'm sure all of these like landmarks are gonna be like clickable quests and whatnot at some point.
Yeah.
It's just like the map is just beautiful, man. I
Yeah.
love it.
I mean, you gotta love the. I don't know. Is it like a Colosseum or like Mount Olympus? What is it on the bottom left of the map? I mean, that thing that's just kind of out on its own. That's just gorgeous. So cool. It looks like it has some kind of temple and a statue there with some waterfalls going through the ruins. Like that. That's just really cool. Like whoever designed that, like kudos to them. That's really neat.
No, dude, it's really cool. Um, there was a couple other spots. There's some sort of like unique tree. I don't know why I've got this thing for trees apparently, but up in the top middle of the map. So somebody had mentioned, there's a tree with the eyes
Yeah.
right
Yeah.
to the right of the castle, but if you go like all the way up to the top center of the map, there's this other like really big tree that's like kind of dead. Like I don't know.
Big
It looks
hole
like it's got
for a
like maybe a
mouth.
door in it
Oh yeah,
or something. So
right by
I don't know.
29. Yeah,
The uh the options for like lore and questing and how they roll this out is just they're endless. So
yeah. I also like the bones. There's a couple spots on the map. One in the top left, and then one in kind of I think it's very bottom center. Where right by 87 on the bottom center, there's like just like a some. It looks like it was a big creature of sorts that has some bones there now, and that just be great to go harvest some secret crate dragon heart. I don't know. That's what I think of
yeah,
from Star Wars. All
yeah,
right.
no, that's cool.
All right. Well, any kind of closing comments before we, just go back to scrolling the map and wishing for the quest to open up and go after land?
I was just like curious what your thoughts are. And maybe it was your podcast, a prior episode that I heard this on, but I'm curious to get your thoughts just real quick. I know we're trying to keep it short, but like with this map and you're seeing, 1 out of 100, or sorry, 100 out of 1,000 plots on this size of the map, do you think as we get quests that roll out and there's quests, adventure quests, combat quests in different areas, that there will be some sort of like time that you have to spend or cooldown or stamina spent to travel to different areas, or do you think it'll literally just be like, click and you're there?
Yeah, we did talk about that a
That
couple
was okay. I
episodes
thought it
ago.
was your guys. I couldn't remember.
Yeah, I think yes. Although I would say I was convinced of that probably a day ago. Maybe a little more doubt with how just massive this initial view is. Like I'm actually really kind of surprised how much they render on a single map here, and all the different clickable options. So I would say maybe that bodes to kind of go against what we are forecasting, but at the same time, this is 100 of 1,000 plots, and so I very much could see them kind of building areas out on the map, and at the very least, if it's not land day one, it could be going to quest somewhere else. I think they're gonna put some kind of stamina like cost to transitioning your heroes from one area to another, to try to kind of create those opportunities of arbitrage a little more meaningful in that you actually have a bit of an opportunity cost of actually having to go send your guys over there and to go work in a different area. So I do think that's the case, but you know time will tell.
Yeah. Uh, and it would honestly, I think it would make sense because as as it currently, that would be like a big time constraint, and you'd have to be like, I mean, so imagine some of these wallets with like 60 plus heroes.
Hmm.
Managing all of that will start to get difficult, I think.
Yeah.
And that's when like a scholarship system makes sense for both parties, right? Because like they talked about the scholarship
Right.
systems,
Right.
and I'm like thinking about like my professions. I'm like, honestly, I don't need somebody else. Like I don't find it difficult, even with a decent pool of heroes, to just like queue my guys up.
Hmm.
But if it gets to the point where it's like, all right, I got to send this guy over here, it's going to spend stamina, like that could start to get complicated, and it could be rewarding in terms of quest rewards, and to
Hmm.
the point where it makes sense for both parties to be like, listen, I don't have time. Here's my hero. You quest with it. However this fee split is, whatever.
Hmm.
But I was thinking just on that line, like, is if that was a system, like I could see them arranging it by like regions, because each there's 14 regions right now. If you go to the castle and look at the land auction,
Yeah.
every plot has a name, and then it's as part of a region. Like I could see it being like it costs a certain amount of stamina to travel to a region, and then once you're in there, your stamina will regenerate, and you can do anything within that region
Hmm.
without incurring like another stamina movement penalty or something. I don't know. It's a ton of speculation, but it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I also hope that like within and it could even be inside the regions, like that certain plots of land benefit, certain things more than others. Whether you go to a direct mining plot or when you're right next to a mine, because they do stay in the docks, that land will have I can't remember the exact verbiage of it, but that land, or potentially the buildings on land will benefit heroes and questing in the future. And so I do think like the position of where it's at on the map and what potentially is near it, and in the future what landowners decide to build on their land will impact the value of the heroes that are going out to quest on it.
Yeah. They say in the docs, they say buildings can be built on your kingdom and upgraded to increase their bonuses. Resource buildings can be built next to resource nodes to allow your kingdom to begin accumulating resources you need. I
Yeah.
wonder if that'll play into like where your land is situated, like if you're next to a river or next to trees, if that'll have an impact.
Yeah, yeah. Neindorf and I were joking about this about a month ago, but like I think there's a real opportunity that this could become like a full-time job for someone to be a landowner in the digital world. Whether you're gaining taxes on or a small percentage of the cut of all the quests